Hey,
Hey, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you just fine.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good.
Thank you so much for taking the time. And
No
sorry
problem.
about last time, by the way.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. Uh, let me. I always have an awkward time starting these podcasts. Uh, so a few weeks back, I was doing some work on my computer, and one of my friends, Nix, who's a music producer down here in Houston, was started a space, or I think he jumped into a space on Twitter, and
Yeah.
and I came up and it was a space you organized for music producers, and I was just in there quietly, just listening, trying to understand a little bit more about that side of music because nobody really. So I mean, from the outside looking in, we don't have an understanding. We just see the passion. We don't see all the detailed work that has to go into things. So it was a great learning experience for me. So I wanted to have another conversation with you to try to get some answers to some more questions that I have.
Okay.
So for those of the people who are not watching, who will be watching this, would you please introduce yourself to us?
Hey, everybody. I'm Sarah J. I manage producers. I've been managing producers for over 50 years. I have placements secured with people like Tori, Meek, Nipsey, French, Fabulous. I just placed a new record with Mano, Jim Jones, and Young Blue that's going to come out at the top of the year. I also placed a record that comes out Thursday with Young Thug's brother featuring Black Youngster. So look out for that.
Oh, nice, nice. That's quite a resume. And to start, I would like to know what got you interested in this career.
Well, I've always been musically inclined. I used to live in DC and I was working out of a studio out there, and just different artists would come through. And I started on MySpace, really, pitching records to different artists and A&Rs and things like that. Developing the relationships with different producers over MySpace, just really utilizing that platform because it was really dope how you could just listen to people's music through the music player. I really do miss MySpace. So yeah, I started taking trips back and forth to New York and LA, sitting down with these A&Rs in person in meetings because I felt like sending, beat CDs through FedEx just wasn't that effective. It'd sit in the mailroom and shit like that. So it's like, you got to get on the plane and go sit down with these people. Once I did that, the placements just started rolling in. You know what I mean? I started placing records on a lot of old mixtape shit like Dipset, G Unit, a lot of the old mixtapes that were beyond Dat Piff. I was just placing a lot of records in the mixtape world. And then it just turned into album work, with Tori and Meek and Nipsey and different artists, major artists. Now, when they're working on their projects, they hit me up for music. I don't have to chase so much. So that's a good feeling.
Nice, nice. You've paid your dues.
Yeah.
Nice. And before I keep going with the questions, I wanted to know because this is something that keeps me curious. How is it for a woman to break into the rap world as a manager and an A&R? How difficult is it?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I never have a problem. I would say like when I was first coming up in the business, like people would go around me and try to get directly to the producer, which I have no problem introducing the producer. But if I'm spending my time running through these records hours and hours a day, you're not just going to cut me out of the mix. So once I figured out like how to maneuver around that game that a lot of people used to play with me, like I'm fine. You know what I mean? So people respect me in this game. I really don't have a problem with it. I mean, there's always A&Rs and people are going to push up on you if you're a decent looking female anyways, but you just learn to just move around it. So
Yeah, yeah. And what did you learn? I mean, just for as far as identifying either producers or artists at the beginning who you see with potential, what sets them apart from the crowd?
yeah, so when I'm listening to producers tracks, I'm really listening to melodies, I'm listening to drums, I'm listening to arrangements, transitions, how they flip the sample, just overall professionalism. You know, if the track is formatted, a lot of producers send me beats that sound like skeletons, where it's not like, you know, arranged properly.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to shop records like that because these artists, you know, if they're recording at 3 o'clock in the morning, they don't have time to say, hey, Sarah, can you make sure that they, you know, format this track and take this out and put this in? So it's really got to sound like something. You know, when you hear some really dope beats, you know, when you hear some shitty beats. So it's just depends on like what I'm listening to, you know, and right when I hear something, I kind of have an idea of who I want to send it to.
I see. I see. And as far as the most common mistakes and misconceptions, what do you think young artists, young producers don't understand when they first step into the industry?
A lot of producers don't have their business straight. You know, they don't have their PROs, which is your ASCAP or your BMI. They don't have that set up. They don't know how to do split sheets. They don't understand the whole royalty and publishing game. They might not know how to get a lawyer. There's a lot of things that go into the business besides just making the music, you know.
Mhm.
I think a lot of new up and coming producers fail to kind of research the game before they get into the game. It's just like any other business. You know, you just really want to be prepared because you could get a placement tomorrow and you don't know what to do, you know. So I try to educate producers as much as I can. I do the one-on-one beat review consultations. If you guys ever need that, hit me up. You know, I inform them about split sheets and, you know, marketing and how to just get out here as a producer, you know.
So a lot of the I have a lot of friends who are from small countries around the world who are trying to break their music internationally. And for an independent producer or even an independent hip hop artist somewhere else in the world, where, for example, they don't speak necessarily English, how realistic is it for them to believe that with effort they can make it in the game?
Oh, they can make it in the game. Actually, a lot of the records that I've placed on Tory Lane's albums over the years have been producers from other countries. Like, let's say the last album, I placed a record. It was a producer from Miami collaborated with a producer from China. And so it can just happen where it's like these guys end up connecting on the internet. They collab with an American producer, and boom, you get a placement. So it can be as simple as that.
Okay, okay. And
Chips.
okay. So is has the language barrier ever been an issue for you working with producers and artists?
Language barrier from another country?
Yeah.
No.
Nice. Does it require more effort on your side, or it's just they do the best they can and you just figure it out with Google Translate?
I mean, I don't discriminate. I don't think anybody else that I work with discriminates. It's all about the music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like if somebody hits me up and they say, Sarah, my English isn't that good. It's okay. Like I just listen to the music and, you know, we talk through DM or through email or whatever. And if it's a placement, you know, I help them through that whole process. But when it comes to, you know, knowing English fluently, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I deal with producers from all over, from Germany, from Africa, from Australia, everywhere. And some producers are very shy, and I do realize that language barriers, you know, goes side and side with confidence and things like that too. But it's never been an issue that we can't work through. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I see what you mean. And for example, I have a young man who's thinking about throwing himself into the business. And if you had a young artist, Blue, and you had to advise him on how to structure his team, for example, what pieces would you suggest for him to get around himself?
yeah, I think it's really important for a new artist to really have a dope DJ because it's all about your live performances. So it really helps out if you have a DJ that knows all of your music, is really able to work a crowd, a set, you know, just really professional on stage and can just really get you through shows. Also, a manager is really important if you have things going on. But like I do tell a lot of new producers and new artists, if you don't have anything going on, you really don't need a manager. I feel like you need a manager when it gets to that point of, your phone's ringing off the hook, you getting booked for hella shows. You just have so much going on with the blogs and press and stuff that you can no longer handle your day to day. Then it's time to get a manager. But I do believe that you need an entertainment lawyer, an assistant, a DJ, a road manager, all those things that you need when you start to become successful.
Yeah. Uh, most people depending on the culture, on the cultural background, a lot of people tend to be very I don't know what the right word is, but very apologetic when they go about their business. Would you say, because in my opinion it's not, but would you say that's I need to articulate this right. Would you say having a gentle personality is good for longevity in the music business?
Oh, yes, that's a great question. Yes, because I have worked with producers with really just shitty attitudes and demeanors, and it doesn't bring you more business. Like your music could be so dope, but like your attitude is just really just crazy and just you don't know how to work with people. And I've actually had labels tell me, like, hey, Sarah, don't even send me any more of his music. He's too much of a problem to work with. So it's like if you do want to be along for the long haul, it's really good to be flexible, be dependable, and things like that, and just be able to work with people and not have like this huge ego that's going to prevent you from getting more work. Do you know what I mean?
I see. um in my I've been having these conversations with a lot of music managers back in Africa concerning how they manage their artists once they have that big hit. Basically, I've been talking to them about how do you manage the momentum once you have that big hit to make sure that it's a growing process instead of a one hit wonder. What does that look like for a producer once they have that big placement? What do you suggest for them as the next step? Is it just keep grinding, or is it time to start networking seriously?
Yeah, so I've seen it happen time and time again where a producer gets one hit record and then you never hear from them for 10 more years. So it's all up in your work ethic. And the same with artists. There's artists that drop a record, it blows up on the internet, and then you never hear from them again. So, like, to actually have the longevity, you need to have a catalog, and a catalog of like really, really strong music. So, like, if you got one record that just takes off, you need to drop another record soon after, and another one, and another one, and another one. And you need to be at all these places, all these studios, all the events, the Rolling Loud, the Coachella. You just need to be out here, period. You can't just expect to drop a record and then to people, keep checking on you. Like, there's a million artists that come out a day, a million producers. So to actually have longevity, you need to have consistency. And that's really the key: consistency.
Mm-hmm. And how now I'm trying to go towards the PR universe. How do they get publications about them? Because a lot of them haven't done, a lot of the upcoming talent hasn't achieved anything significant yet to be spoken of. So how do they get the attention of, whether it's blogs, magazines, or journalists, to just try to get their name out there?
Yeah, so if you're interested in being in these top publications like Pitchfork or Fader or This Is 50 and Flex We Trust, there's a lot of publications. There's a lot of written ones, and then there's a lot of online ones. You really have to just kind of be at that level in your career where blogs are reaching out to you, or you have a strong PR team or a manager that can like help you get press. But it's not just really easy to get on these blogs like that. You really have to have deep relationships.
So the music industry is really, really a relationship industry.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Huh. And because I mean, a lot of these people that I speak about are, by all definitions of the word, outsiders. So is that, because I mean, and for outsiders, the outsiders that they have, I mean, I can't speak for them, but for example, myself, it's always this feeling of I don't want to be the fall, not necessarily the fall guy, but I don't want to just have to benefit from what's left. How does a new person get into the mix and get to create strong relationships, if that makes any sense?
To create the strong relationships, it's just going to come from word of mouth. It's going to come from traveling to attending all these events, ASCAP events, BMI events, expos, music showcases, seminars. I mean, these are all the things that I did on my path in my career to kind of get to the level where I am, is by building the relationships, going to see people, going to book sessions, going to sit down with people, meetings. I mean, you can't just sit behind your computer and think that everybody's going to respond to you, because they're not. There's so many producers and artists that I talk to on a daily basis that tell me that these other A&Rs, they don't open their emails or their DMs. I mean, people are going to read your messages, not reply. Like, you got to just find a way to make it happen. So if that means like taking a few flights to go see somebody and go sit down with them, schedule a meeting, take them out to lunch, whatever, you just got to do it. You got to do it. How bad do you want it? You know what I mean?
It makes sense. It makes sense. Uh, for a mixtape, for example, what would you say, a rap mixtape specifically? What would you say a decent budget is?
It depends if it's an independent artist or if it's an artist signed to a major. Now, that all depends on what's the artist's situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we're living in an era where you can do everything yourself, and you can get the beats for free if you want it, and you can get the studio time for free, if you know these people. So it's not a lot of money to have a recording budget right now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look at all the major studios that have shut down over the years, and people are recording out of their homes, so it's like, it all comes down again to relationships. Do you have producers that are willing to work with you without a budget? Do you have an engineer? Do you have marketing people that believe in your music, that they're going to push it after the project comes out? I mean, because a lot of these platforms are free to upload too, so you can do a lot for free out here. Yeah.
I see. I see. This question is more of a personal one, because I see you do a lot of work, from at least from outside looking in, and I don't doubt that to not be true. But how do you balance? Because I have a lot of friends, for example, female friends, who we get to have these conversations about how the workplace advantages, the policies of the workplace advantage the men over the women. How do you find balance and are able to perform at a high level?
I'm very organized, so I think that helps me over the years. I kind of have like a set routine of how I do things, depending upon if I'm home or if I'm traveling. But I just try to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, I make lists, I make to-do lists, I knock them out. I try to just really utilize my time, and then with COVID and stuff, it seems like I have extra time because I'm not traveling as much and doing showcases and stuff like I'm really used to doing. So I am going to get back out there and do that in a few months. But it's like, right now, the pandemic is still here, and it's been kind of crazy. So
I see. I see. Is there any significant difference in managing a female artist and a male artist?
I haven't really managed too many artists. I mean, I have in the past, I've managed a few male artists. So I really can't go into a lot of detail with that, but it's kind of all the same stuff. I mean, just getting them to record and helping them with shows and, collabs and features, and just trying to get them out there, so it's no really big difference, I wouldn't say.
I see. I see. Because I mean, from the outside looking in, it seemed the budgets would be slightly different, because I don't know, female artists are a little more hype maintenance, but I don't have any data to prove that to be true. So
I say it's easier trying to work a male artist, just because with the females, you're really competing with Cardi, Nicki Minaj, Megan, and the City Girls and things like that. And so a lot of girls, especially that I see, just they don't have the full package. I'm sorry, they just don't. You know, I mean, you have to really learn how to work a crowd, and lyrics got to be on point, delivery, everything. So I feel like it's easier in this rap world just to kind of get a deal as a male compared to a female right now, just because I don't know. I just haven't overall. I just haven't seen the overall package like I do with more men than female artists right now.
I see. I see. And as far as yourself and your career as a A&R and a producer manager, what are the goals that you set for yourself? Let's say, what does your career looks like 5 years from now?
Well, I just did a really major interview with a company. I can't speak on that right now, but I will let you guys know because it's really in the works and it's happening. But anyways, I've been helping producers get administration deals, which is really cool. So if they have current placements, I've been helping them with that. And really my goal and just what I've been working on over the years is just to get unknown producers discovered, you know, is really important to me to help them to get placements, help them get album work, and just get them out here. I think it's important to mix up radio. You know, you hear the same few producers over and over on the radio, and there's guys out here that are just as dope. They just don't have the outlet. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? I really like to help them as the outlet to get their work heard.
I see. I see. And a lot of them do need it because I'm not necessarily in the trenches, but I can see the struggle from some of them.
Yeah.
what what would you tell a young producer who's getting started and has that passion uh, to be able to maintain focus alone? Because I see a lot of these guys just going to the studio and just Drake Drake type beat, future type beat, and just try to slap that onto some lyrics and call it a song. It in my untrained opinion, it seems to not be the formula that works. Would you agree?
Well, there's a lot of producers that are successful and making money doing the tight beat, doing
Yeah,
the tight. There really are. But I think it's really important as an overall new up and coming producer to just have your own signature sound, to not try to do the cookie cutter sound like somebody else. You're going to get further coming up with your own unique sound, and more people are going to reach out to you if you have your own sound. And just to always have your sounds updated. You know, there's so many drum kits and loops and samples out here to use. So to make sure that everything's just updated, sounding updated, I get a lot of beats in that just sound old. You know what I mean? They have old sounds, old synths, old drums, and there's no reason for it because there's so many kits out here that you can just make, you know, really dope stuff. So I would just say, you know, your own signature sound, updated sounds, to come with, you know, hooks. A lot of people are buying hooks and top lines right now, a lot of the labels and artists, if they're not doing their own writing, and just the consistency in your work ethic. All of that hand in hand is just going to help you, you know, just to kind of push through in your career.
I see. I see. Uh, one more question. What's I'm trying to get an understanding of what sync deals are. What do they consist of exactly?
Yeah, so sync deals, the TV licensing and sync stuff is like all the stuff, you know, that you would hear in background television and commercials and things like that, and video gaming work. Anything where you hear music in the background is going to be your TV and sync stuff. So if any producers are interested in that, I place a lot in the sync world, on ESPN, First Take, Love and Hip Hop, different shows. You just have to listen to the format of the background music and make sure that it's sample free and it fits the format of these shows.
All right, thank you so much. I'll probably have a few people that I'll send your way because they've been talking about it a lot and bothering me a little bit. So I definitely have a few people to recommend to you.
Okay, great. The best place to reach me is on my Instagram at SJ Manager. So that's like the best place to reach me. I'm very active on my Instagram, and my Twitter is SJ Manager, the same.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll pass that along. I'll include it in the description below. Uh, as well, I promise this is my last question of the hour. Uh, and now it just escaped my mind. Jesus Christ. What new platforms do producers and artists need to pay attention to this year?
Well, TikTok is really big. The labels are really looking at TikTok right now because, you know, they're doing their own distribution soon here. And more of my label friends are looking at TikTok than Instagram. So make sure if you're a producer or an artist that you have a TikTok page. It's very important to just get yourself out there, start uploading videos consistently on TikTok. You never know what's going to go viral on there, whether it's an artist or a producer. Make sure that you have your Twitch account set up. Okay, that's very important for both producers and artists. Also, a Discord account. You've heard of Discord?
Yes.
Okay, you know, Clubhouse, Instagram, Audio Mac, you know, people are still using SoundClick. I mean, there's so many platforms, YouTube. I mean, you need to be everywhere. Honestly, you need to be everywhere. So all these are free. SoundCloud.
Yeah. Is there a way at all, and this is really random, is there a way at all to just put your information, your content in one place and just get it distributed on all those platforms?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you need somebody who's slightly tech savvy.
Yeah. And make sure if you're a producer that you're on Beat Club too. That is really the place to be right now.
Nice.
Please
pay attention to the information. I did this for you. Yeah, but thank you so much for your time. I'll try to not keep you for too long. Yeah. And please, I hope you come back. I know my questions weren't the greatest.
No, you did it so much. I really appreciate you, John. Thank you.
Thank you. And you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.